6.1 1. Rafa.
Why do you have problems sleeping?
Well, I'm Spanish, but I moved to London a few years ago when I married a British woman. I've been living here for 3 years now. I have a lot of problems getting to sleep at night because our bedroom just isn't dark enough. I can't get used to sleeping in a bedroom where there's light coming in from the streetlights outside. In Spain, I always used to sleep in complete darkness because my bedroom window had blinds, and when I went to bed, I used to close the blinds completely. But here in England, our bedroom window just has curtains, and curtains don't block out the light properly.
No.
It takes me a long time to get to sleep at night, and I always wake up more often than I used to do in Spain.
So why don't you just get thicker curtains?
Because my wife doesn't like sleeping in a completely dark room. She says that she feels claustrophobic if the room is too dark.
Yes. Some people do feel like that.
2. Mike.
Why do you have problems sleeping?
Well, I'm a policeman, and so I have to do shift work, which means I work at night every other week. So I start work at 10 o'clock at night and finish at 6 in the morning the following day. The main problem is that my body's used to sleeping at night, not during the day, so it's very hard to get used to being awake all night and trying to work and concentrate when your body is just telling you to go to bed.
But isn't it something you eventually get used to?
Actually, no. Because I work during the day for 1 week and then the next week I work at night, which means that just when my body has got used to being awake at night, then I go back to working in the day, and then of course I can't get to sleep at night because my body thinks it's going to have to work all night. The other problem is that when I get home after working a night shift, everyone else is just starting to wake up. So that means that it can be really noisy. The neighbours put on the radio and bang doors and shout to wake their children up. So even though I'm really tired, it's just very hard to get to sleep.
How many hours do you usually sleep?
Before I became a policeman, I used to sleep about 8 or 9 hours a night. But I think now I probably don't sleep more than 6 hours.
3. Steph.
Why do you have problems sleeping?
I have a lot of problems sleeping because of jet lag. I have to travel a lot in my job and I take a lot of long-haul flights. I fly to New York quite often and I arrive maybe at 6 in the evening, my time, but when it's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon in New York. So at 5 in the afternoon New York time, I'll be feeling tired and ready for bed because it's my bedtime. But I can't go to sleep because I'm probably still working or having dinner with my American colleagues. Then when I do finally get to bed at, say, midnight, I find that I wake up in the middle of the night because my body thinks that it's morning because it's still working on UK time.
And can you get back to sleep when you wake up?
No, that's the problem. I can't get back to sleep. And then the next day, when I have meetings, I feel really sleepy. It's very hard to stay awake all day. And just when I'm finally used to being on New York time, then it's time to fly back to the UK. And flying west to east is even worse.
Oh, why's that?
Because when I get off the plane, it's early morning in the UK. But for me, on New York time, it's the middle of the night. It takes me 4 or 5 days to recover from one of those trips.
Oh, gosh, that must be really difficult for you.
Yeah, it is.
6.2 Rafa.
I can't get used to sleeping in a bedroom where there's light coming in from the streetlights outside. I always used to sleep in complete darkness.
Mike.
The main problem is that my body's used to sleeping at night, not during the day. It's very hard to get used to being awake all night Before I became a policeman, I used to sleep about 8 or 9 hours a night.
Steph.
And just when I'm finally used to being on New York time, then it's time to fly back to the UK.
6.3. 1.
I used to sleep for 8 hours every night, but now I only sleep for 6.
I hardly recognised Alan. He didn't used to have a beard.
2.
When I lived in France as a child, we used to have croissants for breakfast. We would buy them every morning from the local baker.
6.4. 1.
I'm used to sleeping with the curtains open. I've never slept with them closed.
Carlos has just moved to London. He isn't used to driving on the left.
2.
I can't get used to working at night. I feel tired all the time.
Don't worry, you'll soon get used to it.
6.5. 1.
I used to get up really late, but now I get up early.
2.
It often takes time to get used to sleeping in a new bed.
3.
Valerian is a herb which is used to help people to sleep better.
6.6. 1.
Loose. Lose.
2. Bus. Buzz. 3.
Course. Cause.
4. Ice. Eyes. 5.
Race. Raise.
6. Peace. Peas. 7.
Price. Prize.
8. Place. Plays. 6.7. 1.
Pyjamas should always be loose, never tight.
2.
There was a real buzz when she arrived.
3.
Who's doing this course?
4.
She has nice eyes.
5.
Are we going to have a race?
6.
They made peace.
7.
The prize was £100.
8.
We saw the plays last week.
6.8. 1.
Most people start feeling sleepy at around 11 p.m.
2.
When people are tired, they often open their mouth and yawn.
3.
When they get into bed, they put their head on the pillow.
4.
In bed, many people sleep under a duvet filled with feathers or synthetic material.
5.
Other people prefer to sleep under sheets and blankets.
6.
Some people can't sleep because they suffer from insomnia.
7.
People sometimes have to take sleeping pills to help them go to sleep.
8.
Some people who are asleep make a loud noise when they breathe, i.e., they snore.
9.
In hot countries, it's common to have a short nap in the afternoon.
10.
A person who sleeps well sleeps like a log.
11.
Someone who doesn't sleep very deeply is a light sleeper.
12.
Some children have nightmares if they watch scary films before bedtime.
13.
If you drink coffee in the evening, it may keep you awake.
14.
In the middle of the night, most people are fast asleep.
15.
As many as 15% of people sleepwalk during the night, getting out of bed and even getting dressed or eating.
16.
When people need to get up early, they often set the alarm.
17.
If you don't hear your alarm, you might oversleep.
18.
According to one study, 4.7% of Americans fall asleep while driving.
6.9.
I know a lot about sleep. I've been involved in sleep research for over 36 years. I call myself a sleep expert, and I think that if you were going to give advice about sleep, you should follow your own rules. So here are some things you should know about my sleep habits. Number 1. I sleep in a different bedroom from my partner. Everyone should sleep alone. It's much better, if you can, to have your own room. You can wake refreshed, rather than be cross because your partner snored all night. My partner wasn't offended when I suggested we had separate rooms. In fact, she found she slept much better. Apparently, I make funny noises in my sleep. Number 2. I sleep under natural materials. I wouldn't dream of getting into a bed made with hot, sweaty man-made fibres. If you're really hot, it's hard to fall asleep or stay asleep. This is why we turn over at night, not just to relieve pressure, but to find a cool spot. To sleep well, we need to lose 1 degree of body temperature, and cotton is excellent at keeping us cool. Number 3. I'm obsessive about pillows. Pillows are really necessary for good sleep. It's essential that your body is in the right position, and a pillow should fill the gap between your shoulder and neck to keep the neck and spine aligned when you lie on your side. I have 2 pillows because I'm tall and that works for me, but if one pillow holds you in the correct position, that's fine too. I wash my pillows every 6 months and dry them outside. Number 4. I sleep with the window open. Fresh air is good for sleep, and a build-up of carbon dioxide disturbs it. It's the warmth under the duvet that's important, not the warmth of the room. So keep your bedroom door open and open the window at least a centimetre every night, all year round. Even if it's -5 degrees, I keep the window open and curl up with a hot water bottle. Number 5. I don't have dinner late. I prefer to eat before 7 p.m. If you have a large meal too close to bedtime, your body will still be working to digest it and not resting. Eating your main meal 3 or 4 hours before bed is ideal. Number 6. I drink coffee in the evenings. After dinner in a restaurant, I will happily order an espresso. Many people are insensitive to caffeine. Unless you know that you are sensitive to caffeine, it's actually the worrying that you've drunk caffeine that keeps you awake, not the caffeine itself. Number 7. I need 9.5 hours sleep. It's a myth that you need an average of 8 hours sleep. Sleep need is genetic. Some people might need 4 hours, others 11. The right amount of sleep for you is something you can work out based on how many hours you need to feel alert during the day. That figure stays the same for you throughout your life. I always wake up at the same time, early every morning, so to get the amount of sleep I need, I know I need to be in bed by 9:30 p.m. Number 8. I read a book before going to sleep. Everyone should have a way to relax before going to sleep. I read a non-thrilling book, often short stories, or a book with short chapters. You don't want something where every chapter ends on a cliffhanger because that makes you want to read on.
6.10 Part 1
I think it's very interesting that human beings are the only animals which listen to music for pleasure. A lot of research has been done to find out why we listen to music, and there seem to be three main reasons. Firstly, we listen to music to make us remember important moments in the past. For example, when we met someone for the first time. Think of Humphrey Bogart in the film Casablanca saying, "Darling, they're playing our song." When we hear a certain piece of music, we remember hearing it for the first time in some very special circumstances. Obviously, this music varies from person to person. Secondly, we listen to music to help us change activities. If we want to go from one activity to another, we often use music to help us make the change. For example, we might play a certain kind of music to prepare us to go out in the evening. Or we might play another kind of music to relax us when we get home from work. That's mainly why people listen to music in cars, and they often listen to one kind of music when they're going to work and another kind when they're coming home. The same is true of people on buses and trains. The third reason why we listen to music is to intensify the emotion that we're feeling. For example, if we're feeling sad, sometimes we want to get even sadder, so we play sad music. Or we're feeling angry, and we want to intensify the anger, then we play angry music. Or, when we're planning a romantic dinner, we lay the table, we light candles, and then we think, what music would make this even more romantic?
6.11 1. Two. 3. 4. 6.12 Part 2
Let's take three important human emotions: happiness, sadness, and anger. When people are happy, they speak faster and their voice is higher. When they are sad, they speak more slowly and their voice is lower. And when people are angry, they raise their voices or shout. Babies can tell whether their mother is happy or not simply by the sound of her voice, not by her words. What music does is it copies this, and it produces the same emotions. So, faster, higher-pitched music will sound happy. Slow music, with lots of falling pitches, will sound sad. Loud music, with irregular rhythms, will sound angry. It doesn't matter how good or bad the music is. If it has these characteristics, it will make you experience this emotion. Let me give you some examples. For happy, for example, the first movement of Beethoven's Seventh Symphony. For angry, say Mars from The Planets by Holst. And for sad, something like Albinone's Adagio for strings. Of course, the people who exploit this most are the people who write film soundtracks. They can take a scene which visually has no emotion, and they can make the scene either scary, or calm, or happy, just by the music they write to go with it. Think of the music in the shower scene in Hitchcock's film Psycho. All you can see is a woman having a shower, but the music makes it absolutely terrifying.
6.13 1.
Firstly, we listen to music to make us remember important moments in the past.
2.
When we hear a certain piece of music, we remember hearing it for the first time.
3.
If we want to go from one activity to another, we often use music to help us make the change.
6.14 1.
I enjoy listening to music.
We couldn't help laughing.
2.
I'm really looking forward to seeing you.
I think you should give up drinking coffee after dinner.
3.
I want to speak to you.
They can't afford to buy a new car.
4.
I'd rather eat in than go out tonight.
She let him borrow her car.
5.
It started to rain.
It started raining.
6.15 1.
Remember to lock the door.
I remember going to Venice as a child.
2.
Sorry, I forgot to do it.
I'll never forget seeing the Taj Mahal.
3.
I tried to open the window.
Try calling Miriam on her mobile.
4.
You need to clean the car.
The car needs cleaning.
6.16 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8.
Bass is the only reason you don't play is because it goes higher than you can play. So violas, you just take over from the basses. 3 and...
9.10. Eleven. 6.17. 1.
A cello.
2. Drums. 3.
A bass guitar.
4. A saxophone. 5.
A flute.
6. A keyboard. 7.
A violin.
8.
Bass is the only reason you don't play is because...
A conductor. 9.
A choir.
10. A soprano. 11.
An orchestra.
6.18.
Concerto. Mezzo-soprano. Chorus. Rhythm. Symphony. Ballet. Encore. Genre.
6.19. From Italian.
Barista. Cappuccino. Graffiti. Macchiato. Paparazzi. Villa.
From Greek.
Architecture. Hypochondriac. Microphone. Philosophy. Psychic. Psychologist.
From French.
Bouquet. Chauffeur. Chef. Chic. Croissant. Fiancé.
6.20. 1.
How well do you think you'd survive if you were left alone on a desert island?
Not very. I did the Boy Scouts, and so I know a little bit of basic survival, but I'd be hopefully be found rather quickly after my abandonment there.
What would you do?
Probably kind of what you see in all the movies, build a bonfire and see if I had any mirror or anything to attract a plane or a passing boat, and just try to find shelter and whatever type of food's on the island.
2.
What kind of things do people do that really annoy you?
Walking slowly in public, tapping their pencils on tables during lectures as well. Yeah.
Do you think you do anything that annoys other people?
Biting my nails. Yeah, not much else.
3.
Do you ever have problems sleeping?
Most of the time, I don't have problems sleeping, but sometimes if I am either really cold, or I'm really excited about something that's happening, or I'm really sad about something that has happened, then I have problems sleeping.
What do you do if you can't sleep?
I normally read a book, because anytime I read a book in bed, I will fall asleep.
4.
On a typical day, do you listen to music?
Yes, I listen to music every day.
When and where?
First thing in the morning, outside, on my patio.
Do you listen to different kinds of music at different times of day?
I listen to different types of music, no matter what time of day.
What makes you choose one kind of music over another?
I choose sort of spa, new age music in the morning to wake up. I choose country to just get going during the day, and a little soul at night.